Have you been thinking about buying a home for a very long time, but you think interest rates are just too high? High sixes, low sevens, way too high for me. Well, historically, they're not that high. In the 1980s, they were way higher, but prices were also lower, so I get that. Now, let me explain to you something. When interest rates drop, the market becomes way more favorable to sellers because there's more people who want to buy the homes than there are people who are selling the homes. In other words, the demand is really high, but the supply is very low, meaning that you have to pay more. You have to pay over asking price. You're not going to get any seller concessions, and you will have a much harder time in bidding wars with other buyers. But right now, you can basically pick whatever house you want. Now, I'm exaggerating, but in a buyer's market, which we are in today, which is why you should buy today if you're interested in the next year. If you're going to buy in the next year, you might as well buy now because you can always refinance at a lower rate later on. But unfortunately, once interest rates drop, I read an article today that suspects, and they could be wrong, but it suspects the interest rates could drop to 6.1 by the end of the year. What do you think is going to happen when that happens? It means demand for houses are going to go up because all you who are waiting, you're going to not be the only ones who are waiting for interest rates to drop. Back in the early 2020s, 2020, 2021, 2022, we were at the height of a seller's market where sellers could ask for whatever they wanted. They're getting cash buyers from California. People are fleeing California. What do they call it? The California exodus. There are people who are waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, waiving everything. They don't really care. They'll do whatever they can to get in whatever house. It's sight unseen. They'll make offers on homes they've never seen. Not you. That's not going to be you because you're going to look at the interest rate and you're going to go, you know what? Maybe the interest rate is a little high. But if I can qualify, if I can afford to qualify, I can always refinance out of that later at a 6% interest rate. But you're not going to wait because if you wait, you're going to find out that it's much harder to get into the home that you actually want. Because right now, 44% of homes, statistically, are giving seller concessions, which means that the seller is saying, in order to make this deal happen, because they can't get rid of their houses to an extent, nice homes that would have sold in 10 days in a seller's market, right now they're selling in 60 days. They're selling in 45 days. The median days on the market is going up. And if you're selling your home now, you're having a harder time to sell your home, which means you're more willing, since you have to move. People still want to move. They're willing to do a lot to make that deal work. They're willing to negotiate with you. They're willing to say, you know what? All right, we will pay your closing costs. Okay, we will tear down that fence and not have it be on your costs. Yes, we will fix that before we give it to you. We will leave the washer in the dryer. We will this, and this. They'll give you seller concessions. And if you wait until interest rates drop and then they have 7 or 8 people who want their home, you're going to regret it. So I'm not saying to buy right now if you can't afford it, but if you can't afford it, what are you waiting for?